According to John Foreman, the name Switchfoot is a surfing term. To switch your feet means to take a new stance and face the other way. As Foreman puts it, it's about change and movement, a different way of approaching life and music. In many ways, that's what Switchfoot has done for their fan base. They've cheerleaded a different way to live life. Songs like Meant to Live and Dare You to Move, along with honest confessions like Mess of Me off their most recent album with Atlantic, have challenged a generation to an awakening. So sit back. Tonight we go backstage with the boys from San Diego, California, the band Switchfoot. Welcome to Backstage Pass. I'm Clinton Fopple. When you've reached the success that Switchfoot has, being watched by millions of teens that call themselves Christians, it's always a curious thing to sit down with a band and ask them, who is Jesus to you?
That's a great question, because I feel like so many times people get hung up talking about Christian music genre, and I don't really like talking about genres. I'd rather talk about either rock and roll or Christ, but I don't even know what the genre is, So for me, I think about Christ, I think about this iconoclastic man who lived and died for the broken, and, the paramount underdog, which is basically turning the world on its head, Blessed are the poor, and blessed are the hungry, blessed are the broken, all these things that feel very backwards in our fame, power, beauty, riches, hungry world, so that's who Christ is to me.
With 7 albums under their belt and the respect of the mainstream music industry, Switchfoot is a band that has shaped a generation. With their grunge-like look and passion to be change makers, the band is about setting a bar for their listeners so that no one is confused about the fact that life is meant to be lived. When I was with the band, this is what they had to say about the chaos of life for teenagers.
Never before have we had so many options. You have everything pretty instant, you can communicate with people around the world instantly, you've got the world at your fingertips, and yet there's a lack of community, and so I feel like a lot of the folks that I know that are in the 15 to 25 year range, they're trying to figure out what they're here for, what's the reason why they exist on the planet, and that's a worthwhile question. And I feel like the temptation is to run from the big questions. The temptation is to say, I'll never find the answer, so I'm going to look for something that's going to dumb down the question, and we've all found, the quick fix in various forms, whether it's, even good things can be the quick fix, sports or a girlfriend, or, more dangerous things, drugs and alcohol, But ultimately, my advice, my challenge is do not run away from the hard questions, Truly ask yourself what's worth living for in this life.
Yeah, right.
Every show, at least there's one moment that everything falls to pieces, and
I mean, there's a few to choose from.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think that's the beauty of live music is creating from the destruction. You know, like you break a string. I mean, so many things could go wrong, and that's the beauty. Is like, where does it go? What happens when things are destroyed? You know, and you can draw interesting parallels to life from there. You know, what happens when all the chips are down? I don't know. Are there any good disastrous moments that come to mind?
I mean, there's the Madison Square Gardens one where the sign was held up. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So this is a good one. You're playing, I think it was in Boston,
Or was it? Boston,
some huge arena radio show up in the Northeast. And huge video screens, thousands and thousands of people. And this little girl in the front row holds up this sign. And I reach down to see what it says, and it says, "John, your fly is down." So, yeah, those are good moments. Yeah, absolutely. You just kind of zip it up, keep going. Yeah.
Zip it up and keep going. That would make a great t-shirt. Disaster strikes, and sometimes we might think that asking questions shows a lack of faith, but the opposite is true. Do not run away from the hard questions. Keep asking them with the desire to learn more from the situation God has placed you in. You might think it would be easier to run when the going gets tough, but leaning into the hardship builds the bridge for you to live a better tomorrow. Stick around. More from Switchfoot on Backstage Pass. Welcome back to Backstage Pass. You know, we all stand for something, believe in something. But when you're a band like Switchfoot, with the celebrity status they have and the influence they can instill, what do they care about?
Something that is on my mind right now, especially because we're putting on an event for this in a week, is Stand Up for Kids. It's an organization that helps out homeless teens and at-risk youth in San Diego. It's actually an international organization that started out in San Diego. And we throw an event called the Switchfoot Bro-Am, which is a surf contest and concert right on the beach. And we teach kids how to surf, teach them how to play guitar, and raise money and awareness for what's going on in our own backyards. And I feel like this is something that, I mean, I had no idea when I was in high school that there were kids that went to my high school in my classes that were couch surfing, you know, mom's in prison, dad has never been on the scene, just trying to survive, you know, and to basically champion these heroes, these people that are in our midst, that are fighting to survive, looking for a better future from a really broken past, you know. So that's kind of, it's on the top of my head right now.
I don't know where you're at as you watch this, but it's got to be comforting that you've got cheerleaders like Switchfoot who care about the ones who have been beaten down. Know this, like John said, keep fighting. Don't just survive, but thrive as you seek a better future from a broken past. You can do it. Stick around. You're watching Backstage Pass. Welcome back to Backstage Pass. When someone finds themselves successful in life and being admired by others around them, a feeling of reality comes over a person. When much is given, much will be expected. How does Switchfoot see itself?
Oh man.
I mean, to just kind of play off that, I mean, I think it is ironic sometimes that we're put in this position because, you know, we're just punks from San Diego that, you know, are trying to do it right. We love music. We're trying to do that right. And it's sometimes really humbling to think that we would have any of the answers to these bigger questions, you know, but yeah, I mean, I do feel like there's so many areas of my life that I'm still trying to figure out. You know, it's a daily confessional situation.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something that I feel like the church has done really badly, is actually confessing. We are sinners. We are broken, shattered people that do things selfishly, out of arrogance, pride, lust, greed, you know, and all have fallen short, you know. that doesn't mean some or you know, I mean, we're definitely a part of that inclusive all. Yeah, Mess of Me is very confessional, isn't it? And for me, that song, you know, we can all relate to screwing things up, you know, or is that just me?
I think that's just you, brother.
So, you know, but I think the thing that I don't often hear on the radio is the other half of that. I want to spend the rest of my life alive. I want to figure this out. I want to get it right, you know, and that for me is kind of the other half of the coin. Yes, I screwed up, but we're going to figure this out. We're going to move through it, you know.
The song Mess of Me can be an anthem for many today. But how are we doing at dumping the mess we're making? Oftentimes, one bad choice leads to another, and sooner or later, we have a mountain of mistakes that overwhelms us and makes us feel like there's no hope. That's where confession comes in. You need to know that no matter what you've done, gone through, or had done to you, the power of confession is the supernatural pipe cleaner that allows us to move along in life and purpose. Like John said, I want to spend the rest of my life alive. Life is meant to be lived, and Jesus laid His life down for us so that we could live it the best way possible. Why not chat with one of our soul medics right now and share what's making you heavy and bringing you down? Spend the rest of your life alive. More from Switchfoot after the break. You're watching Backstage Pass. 1, 2. So 60 seconds in a minute, 60 minutes in an hour, 24 hours in a day. Have you realized that life is short? The average lifespan is 78 years. Heck, and 1/3 of that is spent asleep. What does it mean to live when it seems like life is passing us by like a hurricane? What do you do with the life that you've been given?
I think everything that we've done along the way has just been trying to be faithful with what we've been given. You know, we've been given these songs, and so you try and record them in a way that does them justice. You try and play them live in a way that you feel is appropriate and communicating what the song's saying. And I think the goal for us has always been very simple, you know. Life is short, live it well, you know. These songs that we've been given, let's sing them out.
Life is short, live it well. We're thankful for the band Switchfoot and how they've called us to live in the midst of a culture that's really eating away at the potential for fullness and joy. As we put a bow on the show, I gotta ask, where are you at with your one and only life? Are you living it? Have you plugged into the Creator of the universe, who wants to see you live a life of fullness out of a life of obedience to Him? Have you allowed some disasters to rob you of hope and a desire to live? Hit us up right now at www.remedy.fm and let's chat. We're here to listen so that you will know His love. Thanks for watching Backstage Pass. Be blessed.